Okay, so hello again. How are you doing? How's this morning have is been treating you so far? I'm going to go do this a very quick introduction because I don't have as much footage as I would like to, and I don't have as much time as I would like to. So let's get started. The recommended for this month is Depths of Malice. Yes, I spoke about this webtoon before. It's a lesson in one of my previous videos. I think in the one where I try to replicate or recreate this cut of the main protagonist. So, but I didn't spoke about that much or got too much into detail about this webtoon. So this is our opportunity, I guess. So everything is on isekai. So if you like those types of stories, I will suggest you to read this one because I think you're going to like it. Which I know, I understand, is another isekai to add to the list, but I swear this one has been quite enjoyable and interesting so far. And it goes as follows. There is this girl that they don't give us or provide us with that much information about her, but she's sick with something that resembles a TB, which is a tuberculosis. Also, it shows that she's been living on these very poor conditions, living conditions, and as well as she knows this particular girl that she seems to hate, that our protagonist seems to hate, whose name is Bertha, and she hates Bertha mainly because she's a suicidal character, and our protagonist considers that she doesn't have the right reasons or enough reasons to be suicidal or to want to die, because Bertha is beautiful, she's rich, she's a pretty bird, and she is betrothed to this high position, high society noble man. So in the eyes of our protagonist, she has the perfect life, and obviously she's healthy, which is something that our protagonist doesn't have currently. All this happens, I think, in the matter of the first three chapters or so, and our protagonist makes a deal with this match or wizard that she's going to give off her soul in order for her to avoid dying. Like, she doesn't want to die, especially of this very awful, disease. In exchange, she's going to take Bertha's place. She's going to leave Bertha's place, and Bertha is going to going to be living her life. So, well, that's how it goes, and that's what it happens. And this is also where shite gets wild. And Rita, which is, I now that I realize I haven't mentioned the name of the protagonist yet, so yes, her name is Rita. It reincarnates as Bertha, and obviously she's extremely happy with the results. But as sooner or not, she starts to realize that Bertha's life is not quite perfect as it seems, where she thought. And I guess this is where I'm going to leave it, maybe into what I'm saying. So that's it. Again, I'm kidding. I do want to bring some points to the table, I guess. So the first one will be, this is supposed to be a romance story, like a romantic story, which leads to my next point. Rita is a tad bit too, maybe a little too much manipulative, which don't get me wrong, she fits this character, is very fitting for this character, uh, and she's not bad in a way of, oh lord, I forgot to say thank you to the bus driver, which I now think it's a very bad example. I mean, she's what we will call a bad bitch. This is one of the things that made me wonder, like, whilst reading the story, how can you create or develop a romantic plot with this type of character? Because in the sense of she's so manipulative. She's seems to be very cold-hearted too. That makes you think when she's being completely honest or not. It makes you question if her intentions are true or truthful, or if she's being sincere, or obviously to us, the readers, who know what's happening behind the scenes. We understand what the shame is, we understand what's happening, and that's why it's kind of interesting with to see where the plot is going or how it's going to evolve, because of the events that are occurring, and which start to like pile up into further the story goes, or when are they going to collide, or how are they going to affect the other characters uh, who are related to or involved in the story. The next point, the main leads or the male leads, so far they have been pretty much similar, extremely similar, or portrayed in a similar way to how Rita is, which means, as I said before, manipulative, calculative, that's are too many thieves, level on cool headed. So it also makes you consider if they're going to be, if they end up being together, if they're going to be the ultimate a power couple who are going to, lash out and run over everything that stands in the way, or if they're just going to be drama because you don't know who's actually being truthful, or if someone is going to, if someone is being manipulative, or mind handling the other, or not being completely honest with the other person. So it makes you wonder a lot of things. So I'm expecting to see what's going to happen with that. Next, the sense of justice. Just say it's nice seeing awful people get a taste of their own medicine. We all can agree with that, I think, and that's what Rita has been doing so far. Like that's what she's been doing so far. She's planning to get a revenge on these people that are clearly portrayed as evil or bad people, but on the other hand, you get these. The way she expresses or she speaks about this disease, Bertha, she speaks ill about her and her suicidal tendencies, which makes you still perceive her, Rita, may more as a villainess than a hero or a good person. It tilts the balance to both sides, which is quite nice. So you question if indeed she's a villainess, if she's going to keep on being a villainess, or she's an anti-hero, or she's a protagonist who's going to become very caring, who changes throughout the story, and or if she's just going to, like I said, remain the same. This also reminds me of this the plot of this Chinese manhwa, which is the cheating men must die, which is in a way it can become quite boring because in the sense that you know what the main protagonist goal is, and you know how more or less is going to end up being, and that there is not going to be like that much of a repercussion. She's not going to suffer, so pretty much how it's going to end. But it's quite nice in the sense that, like I said, you get this a good taste of justice being done, and seeing these people, awful characters, get what they deserve. So I think that's it. The last part, the drawing, or what many people call the art, the artwork. On my side, I would say for myself, I never really cared that much about the drawing issue in graphic novels, mangas, whatever. But I would say that having a nice draw, a nice, a nice design, it is a plus to the story. But aside from that, I don't really care that much. Well, but what I do like, what I indeed do like in this story, is that the fact that they look kind of cute in a way, very innocent looking, very close to a shoujo style type of manga, with the big eyes, with these lights in the eyes. I don't know how to describe it, but they look very innocent. And then you see them do these kinds of horrible things, or treat these very sensitive issues. Um, or see how they express themselves. It pretty much breaks the illusion that you have, like, oh, this is going to be a nice manga. Well, the title should already be a given, but not until this part. So I guess that's it for this recommendation. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you read it. You can read it on Listen if you have the means. If not, wing wing, there's other types of websites where you can read it in a not so legal matter. So I hope you enjoy and have a nice days.